Welcome back. You watch Your Morning Live. Now, Russia's Igor Meerson, Eddy King of Canada, and our very own Roni Modimola, Noko Moswete, and Kedibone Mulaudzi are some of the comedians that will headline this year's Johannesburg International Comedy Festival. The festival takes place in and around Braamfontein precinct from Friday the 31st of March until Saturday the 1st of April. Now, to tell us more, we're joined by Johannesburg International Comedy Festival Director Takunda Bimha. Takunda, thank you very much for joining us. First of all, I didn't know the Russians were funny, or they even had comedians. Talk to me about the inspiration of bringing such an eclectic mix of comedians together.
Cool. Yeah, well, I think, it's the second edition of the Johannesburg International Comedy Festival. And I mean, the whole notion, the whole concept is about, laughter is truly the world's universal language. We laugh, wherever you are in the world, maybe some places more than others. But it's really about celebrating comedy, celebrating what we have, the amazing standard and comedians we have in South Africa, but now bringing from the rest of the world, great comedians, and together create almost like an eclectic mix of comedy, over one weekend in the inner city precinct of Braamfontein in Johannesburg.
Comedy in the inner city. I think it also brings out audiences that haven't experienced what I really consider to be an awesome space.
Absolutely. No, and that was the motivation. If you look at all the biggest comedy festivals in the world, they are all built around the city, the narrative of the city that they're in. Whether it be Edinburgh in Scotland or Montreal in Canada or Melbourne in Australia, it's all built around the city. And I think for us, it's an opportunity to celebrate our city of Johannesburg, our world-class African city. And also, it's beyond comedy. It's also a lifestyle brand. The first festival, the one big feedback we got were people really enjoyed being able to go to one show, and then leave that show, go and have a drink, have supper, and then go to another show and walk around the precinct. So we really want to keep building within the inner city, but then from there start spreading the festival around the rest of the city.
So I think maybe what comedy is doing then is a little bit more than just getting people to laugh, but it's getting to experience Johannesburg in a completely different but very friendly kind of way, because there are some serious misconceptions about the inner city of Johannesburg.
No, for sure. And I think many people were pleasantly surprised, from their last experience. And, you look anywhere now, I mean, I do a lot of traveling, obviously, when we go into these other festivals to look for comedians and so forth. And, if you look up on tourism and, about Johannesburg, Braamfontein, Newtown, the inner city sort of node is emerging as one of our top sort of, tourism hotspots. So, I mean, you've got people coming from all over the world going to Braamfontein, loving it, enjoying it. And, there's an opportunity to sort of build on that. And actually, from a local tourism point of view, get people from all over Johannesburg coming down there. So we really want to build on that.
The other thing that comedy always does, it allows us to reflect on whatever the social discourse is. It is very topical. And it's funny that it was affected by the student strikes last year, and it was actually suspended. How did that affect the event not happening last year?
Well, it was very tough, as I said, this is only our second one. If we had been sort of 10 years in, 15 years in, we could survive. So, look, but I think the thing is, my partners and I feel that, this is a sort of 20, 30, 40, 50-year project we're working on, and beyond that. So,
well, you brought a Russian comedian.
Exactly. I mean, we even have a Somalian comedian, in this year's festival. So we and look, the protests were hectic, and we just felt that it was better off to just hold off a little till things settled. But regardless of that, we are forging ahead, and we're going to stay in the inner city, because we feel that that's not the narrative. The narrative is bigger than what happened, with the protests and so forth.
Quickly, details. Where can people get tickets, and where can they log on? Is their website?
All the information is on jicf.co.za. That's where all the information is, jicf.co.za. Tickets are at Ticket Pro. And they range all the way from 75 Rand to sort of 300 Rand across the board. Next week, Friday, Saturday, 31st of March, 1st of April in Braamfontein, Johannesburg International Comedy Festival.
Takunda Bimha, thank you very much. Director of the Johannesburg International Comedy Festival. It's happening in and around the Braamfontein precinct from Friday 31st until Saturday the 1st of April. It's award-winning comedians. Come on, let's go and support it. Buy your tickets. We take an ad break. Don't get away.